Why can a policy that seems to help consumers actually end up reducing overall social welfare? Today, we'll use a single problem to clearly explain consumer surplus, producer surplus, total surplus, deadweight loss, price ceilings, government subsidies, and Pareto efficiency. In the scooter market, demand is PD equals 70 to 2Q, and supply is PS equals 10 plus Q. Equating these, equilibrium price, PE, is 30, and quantity, QE, is 20,000. For welfare, consumer surplus, CS, is the area above price, totaling 400. Producer surplus, PS, is the area below price, totaling 200. The total surplus, PS, is CS plus PS, which equals 600. Competitive equilibrium maximizes total surplus. Now, the government sets a price ceiling, PC, at 20. Under this price control, the supply curve gives a quantity supplied, QS, of 10, and the demand curve gives a quantity demanded, QD, of 25. Since demand exceeds supply, there's a shortage in the market, and the actual transaction quantity can only be 10. Under price control, consumer surplus is 400, producer surplus drops significantly to 50, and total surplus becomes 450, whereas the original total surplus was 600. So the deadweight loss, DWL, is 600 minus 450, which equals 150. Obviously, the price ceiling benefits those consumers who are able to buy the product, but it eliminates a large number of mutually beneficial transactions. This is what we call deadweight loss. Now the government switches to giving sellers a $12 subsidy per transaction. The subsidy makes the price received by producers $12 higher than the price paid by consumers. So PP equals PC plus 12. Starting from 10 plus Q equals 70 minus 2Q plus 12, we get Q equals 24. The result is a hidden form of quantity control. Consumers pay PC, which is 22, and producers receive PP, which is 34. With a subsidy, consumer surplus becomes 576 and producer surplus becomes 288. The government cost is 12 times 24, which equals 288. So the total social surplus is 576 plus 288 minus 288, which equals 576. The deadweight loss caused by the subsidy is 600 minus 576, which equals 24. Obviously, the additional 4,000 rides from the subsidy, 24 minus 20, have production costs higher than the value consumers are willing to pay, making them inefficient transactions. Who benefits more from the subsidy? Before the subsidy, the price was 30. After the subsidy, consumers only pay 22, so consumers benefit by 8 per unit. Producers receive 34, so producers benefit by 4 per unit. Out of the $12 subsidy, consumers get 2/3 and producers get 1/3. The general rule is that the side with less elasticity usually gets more of the subsidy benefit. Here, demand is less elastic, so consumers get a bigger share. Finally, let's look at Pareto efficiency. For example, one way to achieve a Pareto efficient allocation is that under competitive equilibrium, the 20 consumers who value the service the most get to buy it, and the 20 sellers with the lowest cost provide the service. At this point, we can't make some people better off without making others worse off. But efficiency doesn't mean fairness. The market might allocate services to those most willing to pay, but low-income students still might not be able to afford transportation services. So surplus tells us how much value society has created, while deadweight loss tells us how much value has been lost due to distortions. And an efficient Pareto allocation reminds us that a market can be free of waste, but still has to confront the deeper issue of fairness.